What is up? Today I'm going live with Leslie. She's a certified yoga instructor, and we're going to talk about how to use yoga to reduce your financial anxiety and stress because financial stress is just a real part of life. Apparently, 77% of people experience financial anxiety. So we want to help you conquer that and overcome it and work through it. So I am just bringing her on right that you can use to help reduce this financial stress and just live a more calm, zenful life, especially with your finances, which, is my favorite topic. Hello. Hi, Leslie. How are you?
Hey,
Good. Thanks
I'm
so
good,
much for
Maggie. How are
joining
you?
me. So I just did a little intro. We're going to be talking today about reducing your financial stress and anxiety using yoga. So I don't know if you know this, but who doesn't? There's financial stress is a major problem. 65% of people live paycheck to paycheck. 77% experience financial anxiety. And yeah, so let's talk about this and see if we can give some people some tips to work through it.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, I hopped in when you said the 77% statistic, which I didn't know that, but I'll put myself in that 77%. Because yeah, finances are stressful. But I'm so happy. Hello, everyone. Maggie introduced me. But again, my name is Leslie. Maggie and I connected here online, and I'm really excited to blend
Yeah.
yoga with finances. Who would think, right? But they
Yeah,
go hand
yoga
in
has always been
hand.
something that I enjoy, and it's just like every time I do it, it's like puts you in a better headspace, like physically so good, and then mentally too. So why not bring it over to the financial world so we can have it benefit that area for us as well?
Yeah,
Okay, so what
yeah,
do you think? Like, do
for
you
sure. And
have certain strategies that you use for like
mhm.
applying yoga to this?
Yeah, yeah. And I like to say when I talk with people about yoga, the first thing they think of is like hot yoga, power yoga. And those are all things I love to do personally. But the way that I teach, and especially when it comes to finances, the first question I like to ask myself is my jaw tense? Like that's the first thing. Because anytime I hear anything about money, I
Mm.
notice that my jaw gets tense. I'm gritting my teeth, my forehead gets scrunched
Right.
up, my shoulders are all the way up here. So it's just like doing those, asking myself those questions like, is my jaw tense? How am I physically feeling when I have that exchange with somebody? If it be I send an invoice to a potential client, or I am sharing how much my services are, I have to be like, okay, like check in my jaw, my forehead, like what's going on physically.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I like to do. And that's yoga. Like that doesn't have to be you necessarily even going on the mat. Yoga is being mindful, because what I'm explaining there is the practice of mindfulness. You're checking in with yourself when you receive that information of like what is in your bank account or whatever that is, and knowing that that doesn't define like
Mm-hmm.
who you are,
Yeah,
right?
so basically first like taking a mental self-check awareness of because a lot of people probably don't even realize the physical side of it that's impacting our body, and those are the things that will like long term really create physical real health problems in our lives that'll manifest, right? That'll like into our physical beings.
100%, 100%. And I think we're coming around as a collective, like bringing all of these aspects of wellness, realizing wellness is not just like what you're putting in your body to nourish your body, but it also is an aspect of financially well. Like, are you financially well? And like you shared those statistics, a lot of us are not financially well, but realizing first that we can check in with ourselves mindfully. That's the first thing. You have to check in with yourself mindfully. Like ask yourself those questions of, is my jaw tense? How are my, where are my shoulders? And then you can then you can get into the finances, if that be with somebody like Maggie, or another type of
Yeah. Okay.
financial
So once
expert.
you start to like notice this, like you notice you're getting your shoulders raised, like you were saying, you're feeling like your heart beating faster. What's something that you could do to start changing those like negative or like negative feelings into something that's more beneficial for us?
Yeah, so after you like check in physically, another physical aspect is going into the breathing. So doing deep belly breathing, breathing in both of your nostrils. And if you have allergies, I'm sorry, because I know allergy season is really bad right now. So you're like, I can't breathe in through my nose, Leslie. But for those that can, breathe in through your nose, going all the way back down to your throat, into your chest, into your belly, and allowing your belly to expand, and then pushing the air out through your mouth. So doing about 3 to 5 of those deep belly breaths will relax your nervous system, because a lot of us, we live in like that fight or flight, especially when it comes to finances, where it's like you see whatever it is, or the person may tell you like, okay, this is what you need to do with your money, blah blah blah, and then you get defensive because you're in that like you're in that fight or flight response. So once you check in yourself physically, do the deep belly breathing, what you're doing is you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. So when somebody's like, this is how you need to manage your money, you're like, okay, let's do that. You're not like, why are you telling me to do that? You don't know what you're talking about. Well, last time I did this, I got broke. Like, that's all the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight. So activating the parasympathetic nervous system, activating what's called the vagus nerve, which is connected to our diet. Like, that's all science stuff. But doing deep belly breathing is scientifically proven to reduce your stress.
That is really helpful and really good, because then it makes us more receptive to the instruction that we get or the advice or any of that. I really like what you said about that, like the deep breaths too. And it reminded me that somewhere I read that actually, when you take a longer breath out than you did in, it like tells your body that you're safe. Something like that. Have you heard that?
Yes. 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 Yeah. So it's important. Like, that's a great, to go further into the deep belly breathing, breathing in for a count of 4, say, and then breathing out for like a count of 8. So a rule of thumb is like doubling what you're doing. So if you breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8. If you're going to breathe in for 8, breathe out for 16. Like, those are things that you can do. And I would advise, though, like I said, do the 3 to 5 breaths. Do the breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8, in that cycle of 3 to 5. Like, don't be like, okay, 4, 8, first breath, 8, 16, second. No. Do the 4 in, 8 out for the 3 to 5 breaths, and notice how you get on with that. You also may notice you may feel lightheaded if you don't practice this enough. That is normal, because you're training your body. It's like it is working out, because you're actually helping your lungs expand and create more expansion within your physical body, which is very important, because a lot of us, going back, I know I keep saying the same thing, but going back to the job tense and everything, a lot of us are very, very tense. A lot of us are so tense. Me included. That's another tangent, but I just got a massage this past weekend, and your girl is still very tense. Like, the masseuse was like going in on me, because you carry all of these things. I just like to share that, because I want people to know, even though I teach yoga, I still carry stress as well. But it's learning how to first identify, and then manage the stress.
That's really good. Right? So thank you so much for sharing this with us too. Because with our finances, like, you have to remember that it is just money. And although money is used for everything, and like everyone uses it, everyone needs it, but at the end of the day, like you said earlier, it doesn't define us. We're not, if we're in debt and broke, like, we're still worthy, whole humans that just deserve the world. And so you can view that current situation that you're in a very, very dark space, or you could just take take some deep breaths. As simple as it may sound, you can apply that and like take those deep breaths and like reassure yourself that you are safe, you're okay. The situation that you're in now is temporary. It's not forever. You have the power and control to change things. Because when I see things where it's like, you know, it can get really bad where people choose to end their life over finances and their money situation because it's gotten so out of control and they just feel like completely helpless. And that just like breaks my heart because I think using some of your techniques and like knowing that we can incorporate things to change our situation and to help us just feel more neutral about it. Like not necessarily positive or negative, but just neutral. It is what it is.
I really like that you said that, Maggie, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I get very excited, but I like what you said about money being neutral because that's what drew me to yoga. With yoga, I was taught when I went through my teacher certification, it's really important to emphasize to your students that everything just is. There is no good pose. There is no bad pose. You know, everything just is. And that was a big takeaway of my yoga teacher training was, you know, as you're going through the poses with the students, don't be like, okay, we're going to do downward dog. I know you hate downward dog and and all of this. It's like just telling the students it just is. And so living that yoga on and off the mat, and by off the mat, that means when I'm looking at my finances and being like, this just is. This does not equate to my worthiness. This does not equate to me being somebody that's bad with money. Like at least now I am tackling the money. Like I'm you know, coming to terms with it. Because to be honest with you, and it's so interesting that we connected because I'm a new business owner and, you know, there's a lot of challenges with that. And I'm like, this is so interesting how God just brings certain people in my life to like be like, hey, you know, let's check these finances, let's do things accurately. But it's good. It's good. It's needed.
The laws of attraction too, you know, like you know what you put out, you get back, and that abundance and that like that energy. I believe we all have that energy and we draw to us the things that we need in life, the messages that we need and meet for certain purposes. So yeah, same. I feel the same on that. Okay, so as we're going from first noticing our stress points and capturing that, then to apply the breathing, then do you have physical movements that you suggest for this type of release?
Yeah, that's a good one. I love to do what's called cactus pose. So it's just opening up our chest. So you just bring your hands up, palms facing together. Again, relaxing those shoulders. Like, yeah, so like you're holding a beach ball. There you go. Breathing in and then exhale, putting your palms like this, but squeezing your shoulder blades together, lifting your chest up. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, lift your chest up, squeeze your shoulder blades together, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Do it one more time. Inhale.
Awkward to do the up the nose shot, right?
I know. And then exhale. So that's cactus pose. So the reason I like cactus pose is because I realize I carry a lot of tension like in my upper body. So this helps open up your chest. And by opening up your chest, you're able to create more space for your lungs to expand. So going back to that deep breathing, when you do that physical movement with the chest and the lungs have more space to expand, to open and relax.
Awesome. Yeah, I already feel good. And I was like, you know, barely even doing the move. So I could see if you like actually try, it's going to be so much more helpful. So yeah, that's awesome. So how do people work with you? Let's talk business a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I have, if you're local to Orlando, this Saturday, I'm going to be collaborating with Full Press Juicery at D1 Downtown Orlando Gym. So if you're interested, you can go to, I'll put the website, fullpressjuicery.com, and there, the sign up is there. Um, Hold on. Well, I can't get it.
You could
but
drop it in the comments on the, I'll
but
share this. So,
and then in the okay. Yeah, so fullpressjuicery.com if you want to sign up and join me on Saturday. It'll be juice, yoga, all of that. So that's this Saturday. I also have my website, lesleenpittman.com, where I have a virtual yoga studio. We meet once a month. And then what else am I doing? I have my weighted eye pillows, which is my first tangible product, which helps reduce stress. So I'm looking forward to incorporating those in my in-person yoga experiences. So yeah, go to lesleenpittman.com, and you also get your free 7-day yoga challenge, which is every day for 7 days. I'm in your inbox giving you just one, because I know we're all busy, one yoga pose to do a day that takes
awesome.
less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, so then when you're thinking about your finances every day, which when you start to work on your money situation, I tell people, like, it's not something you have to focus on forever. You really just kind of put some time in to make sure it's set up properly. Make sure you're investing a certain percentage of your income, you're saving a certain percentage, you know exactly when you'll be out of debt. If you've got some high interest debt that you're working on, you should know the exact date you'll be out, and hopefully sooner, right? So that, like, if you know when, you can kind of work backwards to say, okay, like, it's going to take me 3 years to be out of this debt, but I could probably do it in 2.5, or I could probably do it in 2 years and save myself this number or this amount of interest. So as you're doing those things, it might take a few days to kind of get stuff set up. And that's when that anxiety can really come to the surface, because you're like looking. People do not like, from what I've seen, and I feel this too, like, you don't really love looking at your spending that you did over the last month, 2 months, because it's like,
over the weekend.
I mean, probably shouldn't have been doing all that stuff or whatever, because yeah, it is what it is. But noticing it and looking, like, just as you want to like check in with your body, you want to check in with your money, and know that it may bring some feelings up for you, but looking doesn't change anything. It's already happened. So it's done, and you just have to give yourself grace and say, well, it's done, so let me just look at it. That way, if I do want to make some changes, I'm in a better position because I understand where my money has gone, and that can help me decide where I want it to go. And as you're doing all this stuff, take in those deep belly breaths and let yourself calm down and let yourself come to a more neutral space using Lesleen's tips. Leslie, I'm sorry.
Leslie.
Leslie.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You're good. You're good. We just met like a week ago, everyone. So it is all good, Maggie. I appreciate you realizing that's being mindful, right? Is being mindful.
Yeah. So when you're using these techniques, it really can help you feel more comfortable with your finances, because going back to, like, money is part of our everyday life. Avoiding it and just avoiding it isn't going to make anything better. It's just going to make you feel more tense, feel all that bubble up. And so if you can find a way to cope with that and reduce it and just get to that neutral space, you'll feel more able to actually make some changes, because you'll say, okay, I don't love that I spent that much money on Uber Eats or whatever. Let me take that specific dollar amount and put it towards my savings account this month. And because it makes me, like, I always tell people to, like, focus on what brings you the most regret first. That way it's not like you're taking away from something that actually, like, if you love having drinks after work or something, like, don't cut that out first. Cut out the thing that's like didn't really add that much joy to your life. Cut out the thing that, like, you look at and you're like, ugh, why did I do that? That's the thing you cut first. And that amount is what you save first. And then you can kind of like work your way into spending less at the grocery store or whatever. Like, there's so many ways that we want to cut back our spending. I think that's why budgets don't work, because you look and you say like, oh, I'm going to do better in XYZ category, but it's not realistic because it's a habit you've gotten used to spending a certain way. So you have to take things incrementally. Probably with yoga too. You can't like when you can't just
You
yeah.
can't just do the headstand, because that's what people, they see these like poses and they're like, and that's why I like the way I teach, because it's very realistic and it's very relatable. Like me and Maggie we're both moms, and so there's also that component. Like, our time is very precious. I don't like to say limited, it's precious, right? So being that my time is very precious, I take my wellness journey like in increments, and also like assess, going back to what Maggie's saying with money, like assess where am I at, and like what do I need in this moment. And you know, some days it's not even just doing the breath, it is doing the breath. Because like there's days when the kids are sick, and then one kid is home with me, and it's the wild wild west at home, and everything is everywhere, it's fine, you know, and taking that as it just is, like, and that's really important. But yeah, incrementally practicing your wellness. So I know when I hop on lives like this, I get overwhelmed, because I'm like, okay, oh my gosh. But knowing that there is like, what is there, like 7 different types of wellness? Because there's financial, there's spiritual, there's emotional, there's all these different types of wellness that we collectively have the opportunity to work on, right? So today, Maggie and I are talking about financial wellness, and we're also talking about, well, with yoga, it's like, we'll just say yoga, like, what's the word? Because yoga's spiritual, it's physical wellness. It's a trifecta of wellness with yoga. So it's like, pick which one you want to focus on. Like going back to what Maggie said with increments, pick which one. Are you going to tackle the finances today, or are you going to practice the breathing, right? But they go hand in hand. So making sure that you at least take those breaths, and also affirm yourself. Like, that's also what I heard Maggie saying, is like affirming yourself and saying like, I am worthy. Like even those basic affirmations, like I am worthy of reviewing my finances. I am somebody that is good with money. Like telling yourself those stories. Like you have to tell yourself these good stories, because if you continually say, I am so bad with money, I don't know what I'm doing, that's going to continue coming back to you. Like, and you're going to continue practicing the same habit of being something that's bad with money. But if you tell yourself, I am great with money, and then you start saying that, look here, Maggie came into my life. My friend Merlene is on this call too. She's been helping me get my entrepreneurial finances together. My friend Amanda was also on here, who told me a while ago to get a high yield savings account. Like, these are women that have helped me with my financial journey, because it's something that I am very uncomfortable with. So I just find it very interesting. Like, I know I said this already, but I find God to be funny with me at times, because I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. But I know that I need to talk about it, and I know that there's so much abundance. Like connecting with you, Maggie, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing this, that a lot of abundance is coming in my way, not just money, but in connections and all of this greatness.
What a boy mother says, positive self-talk. Definitely. Yeah. Because you step into that, and you don't want to keep telling yourself that you suck with money. Like you don't. Maybe you have in the past made some choices that you regret, you don't feel great about, but like that doesn't mean you're going to be doing that forever. So know that you have the power to change your situation. If you don't feel good about money, if you feel like that negative energy around you, take some time to incorporate some of the teachings today. Take some belly breaths. What was the second thing you said? Oh yeah, the cactus pose.
Pose.
Yeah, do the self-assessment, and then open up your spending, and then open up your like goals that you want to accomplish. And
that's something else I will say. I don't know if this is a tip that you give people financially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would not suggest, just like with wellness tips, like I like to tell people, like, don't look at your phone first thing in the morning, right? So like so I put my phone, I typically in another room, right? And I turn it off. That's what I do, right? So the same thing with like checking your finances. Don't first thing like open up the bank account. Like practice your physical, mental, spiritual stuff first. So if that be you wake up out of the bed, because it actually starts the night before how you wake up, but you wake up and you thank God or whoever you believe in, and if it be you pray or whatever, you journal, you gratitude, spend time with your family. And then once you're settled, you did the breathing, you checked in with yourself physically, where are you carrying that tension throughout your body, then check in with your
Yeah, get yourself to
finances.
a proper place, because what's the point in stressing yourself out, especially if you already know finances tend to give you some stress. Then make it easier on yourself to go into it, and that reminder that this does not define you and this is a moment in time, like Mole said. Yeah, Amanda. It's a moment in
Amanda.
time. Everything can greatly change in just a few weeks, months, years, depending on your situation, but like the time will pass. So it's worth looking into and focusing on, so that you can get to a better place in a strong headspace as well. Yeah. So, well, thanks so much for joining me today. It was a good talk. If anyone has any questions, feel free to DM either of us. And yeah, anything else? Okay. All right. Well, thanks
I'm good. Thank you
everyone.
for
Talk
having
to you
me.
later. Bye.